Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how I created this brutalism poster right here in Photoshop, and as usual all the assets I used to design this will be linked in the description box below, so you can download it and design along with me. And before we get started, I'd like you to smash the like button, drop a comment, share this video, and of course subscribe to this channel because more amazing brutalism content like this will be made available. Alright, and also I have a playlist of a bunch of brutalism posters that I've done, so it will be linked in the description box. You can check that out. And without talking too much, let's get right into the video. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file, and the size for this poster is going to be 1350, sorry, 1080 by 1350, 1080 that will be the width, excuse me, and then the height will be 1350. I'm going to click this artboard because I want it to be an artboard. I'll leave my resolution at 72. You can just leave all your other settings to be like mine, and then you click on create, and something like this will be created. So these are all the assets I use, and like I said, it will be made available in the description box. So the first thing I'll do is to bring in my color palette. It's a very simple color palette, just 3 colors. I'll bring it in and I'll click OK. Alright, so I'm actually going to draw my grids. Right, I'm going to draw my grids. So I'm actually going to kind of fast forward this area because I want to believe you know how to do your grids, and if you don't, I actually have a video. Just click the video at the top right that pops up and you can just see a very quick tutorial on how to do your grids, but I'm actually going to use couple of minutes to do that, and I'll just fast forward it. Alright, so let me go ahead and do that. Alright guys, so I finished my guides. I finished bringing in my guide, right? So like I said, if you don't know how to do this, just click on the video that I told you to click on, and there's a simple tutorial on how to do this because I really need this to do this tutorial, so that's why I created it. And actually, if you notice, I deleted the color palette because it was actually affecting the grid, because there are certain percentages I'm using for these grids that are written out, and bringing in those color palettes was messing up with that, so I had to remove it. So I'm going to actually bring it back, and I'll just drag it to the top like this. Alright, so we have that. The first thing I'll do is I'll create a solid color background layer with my adjustments panel, and I'll select this first black color. It's not pure black. You can see the hex code here. Yeah, like I said, the color palette is already in the description box, so you don't even need the color palette. You don't even need the hex code, right? So I've created that. We have our solid color background layer. The first thing I'll go ahead and do, create a rectangle. Right, and I'll change the colored rectangle to, okay, I'll leave it at that black, and I'll make sure that you can see the way I'm adjusting it to fit the grid. So that is the entire essence of why I created this grid. Okay, that is why I created this grid. So I created the rectangle. I'll double click on the rectangle. It will take me to my layer style or blending options. I'll click on stroke, and I'll make sure that it's an inside stroke. The color is white. I'll change the blending mode to dissolve, and opacity should be like 97. I'll increase the stroke to, let's say, 5. I'll click on OK. Now if you press Ctrl H, it's going to hide your grid, so you can see what we have. I'll press Ctrl H again. Then that rectangle, I'm going to press Ctrl D to duplicate it, and then I'll adjust it like this. Right, I'll press Ctrl H again. You can see what we have, 2 rectangles, right? Then I'll press Ctrl H again. Now this time I'll select my text tool, and I'm going to click and I write shepherd. I'll change the color of the text. Guys, is not showing because it's also black. I'll change the color of the text to white. Alright, and you can see the name of the font I'm using is Who Cried. I'm also going to drop it in the description. Sorry, excuse me. I'm also going to drop it in the description box, right? So for this Who Cried, yeah, I'm actually going to place it like this. You can see where I'm positioning it on the grid. Alright, I'll position it there. Then I'll press Ctrl T. I'll press Ctrl T, right? So I'll zoom in and I'll drag it like this. Okay, I'll position it something like this, something like this, something like this. Let me increase it a bit. I'll press enter. Alright, I'll press enter. Then I'll change the color to this red. I'll click on OK. Then I'll right click on the text and I'll convert it to a shape. Right now it's a shape, so I'll select it and I'll select my direct selection path tool. Alright, once my direct selection path is selected and that layer, that shepherd layer selected, I'll right click and I'll draw a rectangle like this. Right, and I'll make sure that that rectangle selects what I want. So you can see where this rectangle is, the top of the rectangle that I'm highlighting. You can notice I'm not putting it here, I'm putting it up here like this. And some of those points, those anchor points are now selected based on where my rectangle was. If you look, you see that some of the anchor points are white. Those ones that are white were not selected, but the ones that are blue were selected. So now I'm now going to click somewhere here and I'll drag and I'll hold my, you can drag like this, but I want it to be straight, so I'll hold shift and I'll drag it down to this other grid where this grid stops, right? And I'll select my move tool, I'll click off it. If I press Ctrl A to hide the grid, you can see what we have. Right, you can see what we have. So that's how I created that shepherd text effect. So I'm going to bring back my grid by pressing Ctrl H. I'll select my text, so again I'll click and this time I'll write the Lord is my, I'll press escape. I'll change the color back to white. Okay, I'll change the font to the size of the text to 55. Alright, size of text 55. I'll carry the text, I'll place it here. I'll place the text there. The Lord is my shepherd. Then I'll duplicate that text. I'll drag it down. To duplicate is hold your alt, left click and drag, right? Then I'll edit it. I'll say I shall not want. I shall not want. Now I want to make sure that this want is ending at the same place this shepherd is ending. So I'll hold my control and I'll click on this shepherd thumbnail to create a selection of the shepherd. And I'll select the I shall not want and then I'll click on this to make sure that it's aligned properly. Right. Then once I have that, I have my text. That's all the text. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'll bring in the shepherd image, right? The sheep image rather, which is this. I'll bring it in and yeah, I'll place it. I'll take that sheep and the rectangle, the big rectangle, to the top. Not to the top, I'll place it above the second smaller rectangle, right? So that shape, I'll adjust it like this. I'll press Ctrl T. I want to kind of increase the size a bit. Yeah, I think something like this is okay. Something like this is okay. I'll click OK. Alright, then I will hold my control and let's click on the thumbnail of that rectangle to create a selection. and I'll select the shape, and then I'll come down here and create a mask. Then I'll select my brush tool. I'll make sure that my hardness is 0. Sorry, make sure my hardness is 100 rather. Then I'll make sure that my foreground color is white. And then I'll click on the head of where the head of the ship is supposed to be to like bring it back. So if I press Ctrl H, you can see what we have. You can see what we have, right? Okay. So now the problem with this is that if you look here, you can see that this line, this stroke is not showing because the ship is covering it. So to fix that, what I'll do rather is I'll I'll delete that mask, right? And instead I'll clip the ship into the shape, right? Then I'll duplicate that shape. Then I'll make a selection of the rectangle. Sorry. I created a duplicate, right? Then I'll create a mask. Select my brush tool and make sure that your foreground color is black. Then you can now hide the down parts, right? As simple as that. So that ensures that the stroke still shows because I want that stroke to show. Okay. So we have our shape placed. Next thing I'm going to place is the lines in the second rectangle. So I'll go to my assets. I'll take this. You're not really going to see it because it's black. So I'm going to click on FX and I'll add a color overlay, a white color overlay, and I'll click on OK. I'll press Ctrl T to transform. I'm going to reduce the size a bit and I'll place it inside the rectangle and I'll clip it in. Alright, and I'm going to duplicate it and drag. I'll duplicate it again and drag, and I'll make sure that it aligns perfectly. So I'll use my arrow keys to move it slowly, right? So just like that, we have our lines. Let's now I'll bring in another asset, which is this one, this element 2. Like I said, all these assets are available in the description box. It's very tiny, so I'll increase the size a bit. I'll press Ctrl H. Okay, I'll press enter, press Ctrl H to bring back the guides. Alright, so I'll place this here at the edge of the guide, and I'll press Ctrl and click on this I shall not want thumbnail to create a selection of the text. Then I'll centralize that element because I want to make sure that it is in the center of this I shall not want. I don't know if that makes sense. Then select your line tool, which is under the rectangle tool. Then you create a line from starting from that element to the I shall not want in between it. Right. Then make sure that the color is white, of course, and you change it from this normal stroke to the dotted one, and you can increase the stroke to 2, and I think 2 is not enough. Let me try 5. Oh, 5 is too much, sorry. I'll leave it at 2. Okay, so we have that line, and what's the next thing? Okay, I'll bring in this I shall not want. I'll duplicate it. Like I said, hold your alt, make sure you move to hold your alt and drag, and I'll edit it. Alright, Psalm 23 verse 1, and I'll change the color to this red. Right, and I'll just move it a bit. Yeah, I'll leave it at the bottom left. Right, I'll leave it at the bottom left. Okay, then I'll bring in another element, this one. I'll move it, put it this way. I'll place it inside this rectangle here. I'll just reduce the size a bit, place it here. there's another element as well, this star. I drag it in. It's very tiny, so I have to zoom in. I have to increase it a bit, take it to the top. Okay. I want it to be beside this. The Lord is my shepherd. I'll reduce it like this. Then I'll select the two of them. The Lord is my shepherd and that. Then I'll move both of them inside, right? To make sure that the star is starting from where the grid is starting. Okay, so I'll press Ctrl H. So this is what we have so far. So I've brought in all the elements. The last thing to bring in is the staff. So I'm going to bring in the staff and increase the size like this. So the staff is actually on top of the shepherd, but it is under the rectangle. So that shepherd, I'll just take it on top of the staff. Okay, no, the shepherd is under the staff, sorry. Okay, so I'll take the staff under the big rectangle and take the shepherd under the staff, right? So you can see what we have. Now the next thing to do is to use our threshold effect to kind of create the brutalism effect. So this is the shepherd image, this is the staff image, right? I'll come down to my adjustment panel and I'll click on threshold, right? And then I'll clip it to just the staff. Then I'll select both the threshold and the staff. I'll right click and I'll convert it to a smart object. Then I'll double click to enter the smart object, select the staff image itself, go to filter, go to noise and go to add noise. And I'll just play around with the noise. I think I'll leave it at 29. Press Ctrl S to save and I'll go back. I'll do the same thing for the ship image. Alright, so I will select the ship image, the one at the top. Right, I'll select my threshold. I'll clip it to the shape image. I'll select both of them, right click and I'll convert to a smart object. Then I'll double click it to enter the smart object, select the actual shape image, go to filter, add noise. I'll leave it at the same 29. I'll press Ctrl S to save it and I'll go back. I'll click on the second ship image. Remember we created a duplicate, so there are two of them. I'll select the threshold effect, clip it to it, select both of them, right click, convert to smart object, double click on it, select the ship image itself, go to filter, add noise, leave it at the same 29, press Ctrl S to save, go back and you have this. Okay, so with this now we basically created the actual layout. This is the entire layout. So I'll come to the top of everything. I'll press Ctrl Shift Alt E to create a snapshot of all the layer. I'll right click, I'll convert that to a smart object. So once I've done that, I'll press Ctrl N to create a new layer. Sorry, not Ctrl N, Ctrl Shift N, create a new layer. I'll turn this mode to overlay and I'll click on this fill with overlay. I'll click on OK. It's going to create this. You right click that and also convert it to a smart object. Once you've converted that to a smart object, you're actually now going to go to your filter, go to camera raw filter. I'll wait for it to load. Once you're in camera raw filter, just go straight to effects, increase your green to 100 and then click on OK. Alright, then press Ctrl Shift N again, create a new one, also put it on overlay, click this and click on OK. Right click it and convert it to a smart object as well. This time around you're going to go to filter, you're going to go to filter gallery and you're going to go to sketch. Inside sketch, click on Sorry. Inside sketch, you first select reticulation. Alright, inside that reticulation, you're going to see the settings here. Your density is going to be 43, your background level is going to be 16, and your foreground level is 16, your background level is 3. Then click on your halftone pattern, still under sketch. Size should be 3, contrast is 11, and make sure that the pattern type is dot. When you're done that, click on OK. Right. Okay, this is giving me something reddish. I don't know why. Let me go back. Why is this red? Why is this red? Why is this red? Why is this red? Sorry, it's not supposed to be red. Let me delete it. I'll create a new one. Control Shift N. I'll go to overlay, click this, click on OK, convert it to a smart object, go to filter, go to filter gallery. Wow, it's still red. So I'll delete everything basically. I'll go to reticulation. Pardon me. Alright, so reticulation, halftone pattern. You know what? We'll just leave it the way it is. Okay, now halftone pattern. This is supposed to be 3. This is supposed to be 11 and dot, right? So yeah, just basically do the first thing that I told you to do. I have no clue why it is making it red. It's not supposed to be red, but yeah, what it is, we'll just manage it like that. Okay, so we have that. So select all 3 layers, right click it, and convert it to a smart object. Okay, right. Okay, that's actually supposed to be red. Once you convert it to a smart object, that red effect is going to kind of disappear. Sorry for the confusion, guys. Excuse me. So yeah, we did the right thing. Once you have done that, next thing I did was, I think I created a curve adjustment layer. And you know, usually you want to create an S curve, but I kind of created a reverse S. I don't know why, but that's what I did. Something like this, instead of S, like a reverse S. Once I've done that, I now brought in my texture. So I brought in the first texture, expand it to fit the entire surface. Then I change the blending mode to lighten, right? And then I reduce the fill to something like 67, 68, right? And then I brought in the second texture, increased it again, changed it to lighten, and I left it 100%, right? So this is basically how I created this poster, and I think maybe, yeah, this I created it. I don't think I did anything else. And yeah, so if you watch to this point, I believe you've learned something new, and I'd like it to like recreate it, post it online, tag me when you recreate it, or if you like, you can even do your own version using the techniques that you've learned. And of course, just tag me, let me see what you created. You can also follow me on X, like my handles, my Instagram, my X, everything is in my description box. Like, and yeah, thank you so much for watching to this point, and do well to like the video, subscribe, because I'm definitely dropping more amazing content. Like I said, I have an entire playlist of brutalism posters, so you can check it out. And also drop a comment if you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to tell me something, or if you'd like me to create a poster of something else, just tell me in the comment section. Of course, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.